This week on Feel Good Friday, can your mommy be your girlfriend? The doctor said she was faking it, and then she died. And a top 10 list for Brian, Nightmare Edition.
Yes! Yes, Nightmare
So
Edition.
you just knew that the mommy girlfriend part was going to be really funny?
No, I have to clarify. I didn't say, can your mommy be your girlfriend? I said, can your mummy be your girlfriend?
Oh, right. Hey, interesting tidbit. I was talking to you about...
Wait, you said, oh, yeah, right, like you totally got it when
This
he
guy
said
knows
it.
what's up.
I didn't
yeah.
say shit.
Oh,
and then you
yeah.
just went into
Oh.
whatever you wanted to say.
when
This
you
guy
say-
knows all about mummy
Yeah.
girlfriends.
Well, yeah. Thanks for highlighting the secret sauce. So...
I see dead people.
Oh, I love, I can't remember his name, but he's wonderful.
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel Osment. I was talking to you guys yesterday about listening to the Lex Friedman episode with the guy who wrote the bio for Elon Musk.
Yep.
Errol Musk, Elon's dad, 2 kids with his stepdaughter.
Whoa.
Okay.
He was ahead of the game
Who's old?
because he knew that
Who's older?
He knew that he knew.
Who's older, him or Woody Allen? Who did it first?
Wait, was that Woody Allen's deal?
Woody Allen
I know-
married his stepdaughter.
Oh, he married his stepdaughter.
When you
Yeah.
said Woody Allen, I was like,
I knew
thought
that
of Woody
I knew,
Harrelson, and
I
was
knew
like,
that Woody
oh
Allen.
shit, dude, really?
I knew that Woody Allen had been up to some questionable shit, but I couldn't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, well,
That's a
What
perfect.
are you doing, step bro?
in a truly macabre story, is it macabre or macabre?
I think it's macabre.
In a truly macabre story of love long after death. Guys, I love this story. This story is too good. A 26-year-old man in Peru was caught lugging around the mummified remains of a person who died many centuries ago, tucked inside a food delivery cooler bag.
Whoa.
According
What?
According to Agence France Press, the mummy is between, get this, 600 and 800 years old,
Why didn't
dating
he
back to the ancient Inca civilization.
Whoa, dude! You got a treasure.
Check this out.
You have a treasure. Oh my god!
So this is the
Wow.
dude, I guess, and then this is
Whoa.
the mummy.
He kind of looks a little bit like the mummy too. They say you kind of look like your. Sometimes people kind of look like their partners. He kind of,
Are you saying this man looks mummified?
yeah. He
does
kind
look-
of does.
He does look a little bit embalmed, doesn't he? I
He
think it's just the
does, yeah.
shiny. I think it's just the shiny sweat on his forehead.
Yeah, maybe it is that. You know what
Panini-
though? Wait. My first question, when you
probably
said
have some answers for you.
I hope so. But my first question is like, where do you? Because like if I
Where'd
kind
you
of think of
get-
this
where'd you
like opioids. Like I've never come across walking down the street. I've never come across a situation where I've had the opportunity to buy opioids. Like I know they exist, and I know that is like there's this really awful thing that's happening, and you see people using them sometimes, but I've never come across the chance to partake myself.
I could easily get you hooked up. If you just come down
That's not
outside
what I was
my
asking.
outside
I was making
my
an analogy,
apartment,
not asking for a
we could
connection.
easily. I mean, it's very easy. We could just literally take a 1 minute and 30-second walk, and
Well-
there's one particular man that you just say, "Do you have heroin?" And he will say, "Yes, come back here and let's
But my
let's make
my
a deal."
point, my point that I was trying to make is that even if I was interested in getting a mummified girlfriend, I would not know the first place to go and look for a mummy.
Well, this gentleman, Julio Cesar Bermejo, didn't have to look far. Police initially approached the man, Julio, for drinking in public with his friends, but the mummified remains of what Julio referred to as Juanita, his spiritual girlfriend, quickly caught their attention. So he's got a mummy waifu. He's walking around with his own little mummy waifu.
Is it out?
What?
Is it out? Is the mummy on display?
Is she out?
So well, So the mummy is the mummy. He was carrying the mummy around in like an Uber Eats bag, and they were like, "Yo, Julio, you can't be drinking at the park." And he was like, "Oh," yeah," and like probably drunk. And then they were like, "Also, what do you got in the bag?" And he was like, "Oh, it's my girlfriend." And they went,
That's not a
"Sir, sir, open the bag." And he opened the bag, and they went, "Oh my God, that is that's a mummy."
I just realized where that reference was from. I realized that was a person that I spoke to on support chat.
Sir. As it turns out, the body, wrapped in blankets and unceremoniously tucked into the small delivery bag, was meant to keep him and his friends company. Quote,
don't
home,
say that.
At home, she's in my room, he told the press in a video, as quoted by AFP. Quote, "She sleeps with me. I take care of her." According to Julio, the mummy was in his family's possession for almost 30 years. The artifact is now in possession of the Ministry of Culture. So they took his girlfriend, where it hopefully can be better taken care of. And in fact, Juanita is more like a Juan. It is not a woman. It was
More like a Juan.
It was a man. It was the remains of a 45-year-old man.
Man,
died 800 years ago.
I do take
so 845-year-old man.
Right.
I do
Is what
take
it was.
offense to that last line in the article that it was given to the Ministry of Culture to take where they would take better care of it. I find it hard to believe that they're taking better care of it than he was.
Yeah,
know?
well,
I gotta say, Brian, that was a bad.
That's
It
not a
depe-
joke.
it-
That's,
yeah,
I'm
it-
being serious.
It depends. It
do you
depends.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
It depends.
I mean,
It depends. If he was like,
think of it like this. Think of it like this. Yeah, I'll put it to tell me.
like if he was,
We don't
using
know
it,
that he was doing that.
If he was using it, and they're like,
It sounds like
semen
companionship.
is another kind of milk.
I wonder.
No, it sounds like it was
Yeah, I
more
think
like
he's
a
lucky he
companion.
didn't get arrested for what do you call that?
Necrophilia.
Well, no. That is what you call that. Yes, but there's a word. I don't think you don't get arrested for necrophilia. You get arrested for the
desecration.
desecration. That's the
of
word I was
rem-
looking for.
of
Desecration of a body.
remains.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it didn't say anywhere that was happening. And like
no,
and
it didn't,
we can't
but
assume.
but-
and so my point.
But he
that
did
I'm
say
making-
she sleeps with me.
Imagine this.
And he did say I take care of her. What do you think I take care of her means?
My dog sleeps with me, and I take care of my dog.
Ew!
Right? So imagine this. So just take your
Dude!
stop being
Donovan,
immature.
We're going to have to cut this out.
Stop being immature for a second, and just think of it this way.
I'm
Okay?
going to save you here, Bri.
I sleep with.
Go ahead.
I sleep with my dog.
It's okay,
Oh,
dude.
I
I got you
can't.
saved.
I can't.
We're not going to have you canceled this week.
I had coffee in my mouth that whole time, and I was just trying not to spit it out.
What I was trying to say is I sleep with my dog.
It's okay, dude. I got you.
Oh my god! Did this guy not realize that he could have sent that on loan? Remember the guy the Australian guy that we interviewed for
Mark
stuff
Fennell.
the British stole.
Yeah.
He could have sold this stuff to like the
Yeah.
British like National Museum.
Oh, they would have loved
he
it.
would have made
They wouldn't have. He would have.
so much money.
No, he wouldn't have. They would. That's not how
Guys,
they operate.
guys,
He would have
guys.
been like, "Hey, I'll sell you this," and they wouldn't. Oh yeah, cool, sweet. Let's meet. Let's meet at the Walmart, the back of the Walmart parking lot, and then they'd send their cronies. And
Guys,
they'd beat the
I have a
fuck
good.
out of them
I have a
and then
good.
take it.
I have a good. Would you rather? Okay.
Yeah.
So would you rather if you were you right now? No, don't fucking beep
I
anything.
won't. I'm not.
So if you were take your fingers off that. So if you were you right now, and you died, and
If I was me right now,
if you were you right now and you died, okay, and you died right
How am
now.
I supposed to look at my eyeballs?
You died right now, and your body was mummified,
yeah.
and you were around 600 years from now, and you had the option of either being in possession or care of a guy who's taking you to a park,
Oh, dude.
drinking with their friends,
Put me in the Uber
putting
Eats
it-
bag 100%.
or
Like,
would you rather be
yeah.
in the basement of a museum?
No. I mean, my husk. Do what you will. The thought of my body, my remains 800 years from now, being carted around in like a Pizza Hut fucking sleeve.
That's fun
by some drunk dude. Like that's fucking fun.
See?
I love that.
I think you should have been allowed to keep the body. That's all I'm trying to say.
It's fascinating that the mummy made it 800 years.
Yeah, with the way he was treating it.
Yeah. They need to copy that quality control process because it's got some staying power.
Anyway, I thought that was a really funny story, and I wanted to open it up with the funny because now we're going to move into something that's actually very sad, very depressing. So there was a woman, 33 years old. She died of Ehlers-Danlos when a doctor said she was faking it. So this is someone sent this to me on Instagram the other day. And you know, I just spoke at Wilfrid Laurier University to like get the
rally the troops.
Yeah, get the first years. I was going to say freshmen, but they don't say that anymore. I think so.
You don't say freshman anymore? Is that
you know what? I went to go speak to the at Wilfrid Laurier University, and to get them all hyped up for Shinorama and O Week, not Frosh, not.
O Week sounds worse than Frosh Week.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It does. It sounds like Sex Week.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So I spoke to these students, and I talk about the podcast in my talk, and after the talk, I had this young woman come up to me, and she was very emotional. And she was expressing to me that she's going through her own journey with like chronic health issues, and I was like, if you don't mind me asking, like, can you tell me what are you dealing with? And so she opened up and she told me, and she was like, yeah, but also I just went through this whole thing where my doctor was convinced I was faking it.
Oh wow!
And I was like, man, that's so unfortunate. It's a real bummer. And then this story pops up literally like 2 days after I spoke with this young girl. Stephanie Aston, who had Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, was denied medical care after a doctor said she was causing her symptoms. Stephanie was 33. She died in New Zealand in her home on September 1st after a public battle with EDS, which we just recently covered on an episode of the podcast. It's a genetic disorder. And she was accused of faking it. And the misdiagnosis severely impacted her medical care. And fellow New Zealanders with EDS believe that if she hadn't been prevented from receiving proper care for her illness, she would still be alive today. An advocate for invisible illnesses, Aston started speaking out in 2018 after a doctor said instead of EDS, she had fictitious disorder, the New Zealand Herald reports.
Munchausen.
Previously known as Munchausen. The Mayo Clinic describes fictitious disorder as is a serious mental disorder in which someone deceives others by appearing sick, by purposely getting sick, or by self-injury. But Aston was suffering from Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, a genetic disorder that members of her family also had. Although EDS generally affects connective tissue, like the joints and the blood vessel walls, the vascular type, which is what Aston had, or what she was thought to have had, is a more serious form of the syndrome and can cause the walls of your blood vessels and intestines or uterus to rupture. Wow. In a complaint to the Auckland District Health Board, Aston laid out how the misdiagnosis from the doctor, called Dr. A in reports, negatively impacted treatment for her anemia. Quote, I feel like I have had my dignity stripped and my rights seriously breached, Aston said at the time, according to the Herald. Quote, due to my extremely low hemoglobin levels, my specialist feels I am at serious risk of dying. However, Aston's anemia was deemed self-inflicted by this doctor. Wait till you fucking hear what the doctor said. This is crazy.
Is this the second week in a row that we've talked about bad healthcare in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, I'm not
the other one was
saying
real
that New
No, you're
Zealand
making
has
a
bad
blanket
healthcare.
statement that if you live in New Zealand, you're receiving extremely subpar
Right.
healthcare.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
That's what
That's
you're
it.
saying.
That is what I'm
Yep.
saying.
Mhm.
That's it.
I love Lord of the Rings.
As do I.
She was told, quote, I was told because I had been a midwife, I must be stealing needles from the hospital and bleeding myself through my vagina or bowel or my throat, she told the Herald.
What?
Dude. Like, okay, I mean, if we've learned anything from this podcast over the last 8 years, it's that doctors are people that make mistakes. And a lot of people have this assumption that doctors are fucking, they know all. And they do know a lot. They know a lot more than fucking I do about health.
Statistically, a lot of them know a lot, and a lot of them are really great.
Exactly. Yep. But the thing that doctors don't know, no matter how fucking good they are, is they don't know inside my body. They don't feel inside my body the way that I do, right? I know parts of my health and parts of my body that nobody else in the world could ever fucking wrap their head around. Things that I have a hard time even like tangibly expressing to people, but I know it in my heart. I know it in my brain, right? This woman very much knew that she had this issue and was trying to express it. And I don't know. It's like, do you think the doctor just like didn't like her face? Like what's the fucking?
Just out of curiosity.
When I hear something that's when I hear something that's like so
fucking out
that's
there.
so egregious, and this is probably just my like I need to see my necessity of needing to know where the other side, like how in a situation where something is so egregious, how the other side of this situation justifies its decision. Like, and I'm not saying, and I don't say that to say, oh, the doctor must have had good reason to come to these conclusions. What I'm saying is, it's so fascinating that the doctor came to these conclusions. What possibly could have led them to think this?
But the thing that doesn't make sense to me,
what's the deal there?
Here, the thing that doesn't add up is if the doctor suspected that this person was actually stealing needles and causing themselves self-harm, then that would be some sort of mental illness that would deserve further investigation.
Well, instead of medical intervention, she was forcibly admitted to the hospital under psychiatric watch.
Yeah.
She said I wasn't even allowed to go to the toilet or the bathroom by myself.
I wasn't saying that was also what they should have done. I was saying that, like, I'm guessing that there was some sort of psychological intervention.
Right. So they went, oh, you must be bleeding out your vagina. So we're going to form one you. Or over there it would be like, form one.
Yeah.
Form one, yeah. And
I think that's Australia. Form one year.
I think it's, you got to add,
form
like,
one.
I mean,
form one.
are they
like
different?
brew
Are
or
they any
something.
different? Are they any different at all?
I think it's softer. I think it's a softer, more.
Form one,
Yeah.
yeah.
My name is Britt.
Yeah, so those in New Zealand's EDS community said they were ready to fight against the medical mistreatment in Aston's name. It has been a silent struggle for so many of us, and with Steph's passing, I think so many of us are ready to fight. It's what she would have wanted. Norma Hockenhall, who has EDS, told the Herald. And you know what? Like, I'm going to say this too. I feel over on our Discord in the episode discussion, we had people chiming in about the episode that we had released, I don't know, a week or two ago, where we spoke to Teague, who has EDS and is also a PT. And there's people that have EDS that listened to that episode that felt like that episode missed the mark for various reasons. And in a very like short back and forth on that Discord channel that I was having with one of these people that, you know, felt like the episode wasn't really wasn't a good representation of what should be out there when it comes to discussing EDS. The thing that I took away from that was that due to the lack of like understanding, the lack of care, the lack of resources for people living with EDS, I feel like a lot of people in that community feel really fucking tired and sensitive and like raw about the fact that they are dealing with something that is so severe and so fucking debilitating, yet there is not the proper supports out there. And when you look at a case like this, that just fucking heightens that to the nth degree.
The problem is that this is not just a New Zealand thing. This is everywhere. I mean, we had a
this is like a global thing. I
we
mean,
also did an episode not that long ago, probably a year ago. That was a Wednesday episode, and it wasn't specifically about EDS, but the healthcare provider, I can't even remember who it was, but was speaking to this problem with EDS is that there isn't, there isn't enough training here for medical practitioners to properly diagnose EDS, to provide supports to people with EDS. I mean,
it's not like with CF, it's like I have a dedicated clinic that I go to, and it's like all these people who year round just go, we only do you and your disease, and we fucking know a lot about it, and we have like the funding and the support and the resources and all this stuff, and not to say that EDS is the only disease out there that is in that predicament. There's a lot of fucking diseases that aren't getting the support that they need.
I would say most.
Yeah. And so
because they can't, because they either don't know enough about it or there's too many of them to have.
Especially when we get down to like
rare
autoimmune
diseases.
stuff and like, I mean, even some, even some genetic diseases, it's there's just not enough support.
Yeah, the rare disease.
That's the purpose of the
strategy.
rare disease strategy, or
That's right.
what should be a rare disease strategy.
So anyway, our hearts go out to everybody over in New Zealand in the EDS community who is affected by this. It's super fucking sad. And Feel Good Friday, typically we're trying to like pump things up, feel good. But I especially after the discussion on Discord about that particular episode and knowing that there's some people in the EDS community that might feel a little bit that might not listen to the podcast again. I was just thinking, maybe it would be a good thing to cover the fact that this shit happens. It is unfortunate. And, we're going to continue to do our best to just speak about these things, regardless of what the situation is, and try to do it from a place of levity, even though sometimes there's not a lot of humor to be found, especially in a situation like
I think another thing that we appreciate is that
New Zealand accents, though.
I mean, they're always funny.
They're always funny.
They're always funny.
the thing though that we appreciate too is that
look out! Another one's coming out.
It's
That fucking hot in here. I might have to jump.
that special is amazing. The one thing I want to say is that even though we've I think since the beginning I've thought of this as like, hey, we're not speaking to people to learn about their illness as much as we're speaking to them to learn about their experience living with that.
Yeah, exactly.
But also we appreciate the fact that when people come on and speak about their things, inevitably they're going to represent or portray some sort of image of what it's like to live with that, which will have an impact on other people who live with it.
Yeah.
But also,
that's
their
part
experience
of
is their experience,
thing,
and that's like
They're
that's-
portraying specifically where they lie individually on the spectrum of that disease, of which every disease has a spectrum.
and every spectrum is broad.
Just to pull back the
And
curtain,
everybody on that spectrum can love.
just
And all spectrums are
guys, fuck off.
spectrums.
Just to pull back
Which is
the
the
curtain
nature of spectrum.
a little bit. Like one thing that's interesting about doing this podcast, that I find really interesting is that especially for our Monday episodes, we don't have guests that are like professional public speakers or
we just have idiots, dude. We just have fucking numbskulls coming on here, just trying their best, and no matter how much we aid and help and like guide, they're just fucking it up week after week.
Holy shit!
But God bless them, right?
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Every Monday guest we've ever had, we deeply love you and respect you, and
they're just regular people. You're just regular people.
Just in case Jeremy's
regular boring people.
just in case Jeremy's sarcasm didn't come through loud and clear.
Let's move on
fucking do
to a
this.
top 10 list because these take a long time and we have a recording after this and I wanted to keep this short and we're already 25 minutes in. So I like this one. This one's kind of cool. How do you guys, have you guys been remembering your dreams lately? I go through like off and on periods.
I need a TikTok title for this. What do you got?
Yeah, all right. The 10 most common nightmares according to science.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, that's cool.
Though our dreams are highly personal and often based on what happened to us over our lifetime or during our day, there are some themes that unite us all. These dreams are related to issues that every person has in their waking lives. Michael Schriedel, head of the sleep lab at Central Institute of Mental Health, Mannheim, Germany, told Insider. It's tough to make generalizations about nightmares since science hasn't agreed on why we even dream in the first place. I'm not going to do my accent. But there are basic patterns in nightmare themes that may help you translate what your brain is trying to express, Schriedel said. Understanding these patterns could be a starting point to to identify what emotions you're dealing with in your subconscious. In a 2018 study, Schriedel and his colleagues analyzed over 1,200 nightmares from asking participants to recall their most recent distressing dream. Then they categorized them into common themes. Here are the top 10 that they found.
Before we go into them, do you guys have common themes or nightmares that you have had in the past or something that you can identify?
And when I read through this list, I went, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one.
Don't tell me your dreams because hearing other people's dreams is fucking boring. But do you know what the themes are? Like what?
Well, how about this? Why don't we go through the list and go, that's common for me.
I want to know before we go through the list so that I know that you're not fucking lying.
The only
to me.
one that's
No,
common.
I won't
The
lie to
only
you.
one that's common for me is finding myself on my way to prison, like on a bus.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all of a sudden I'm on the bus and I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. How the fuck did I get here? and I become,
you know what that was from?
Imposter.
and I become
No,
very,
Among Us. Among Us.
Yeah,
become-
no,
I
but
become
no, it's saying
very-
that he's the
very
imposter.
All right, well, here, the number 10. Number 10. Ready? This one is
I'll give you bad bugs.
infestation.
We're covered in bad bugs. In the
Where'd you get that?
Where did you get it? What is that?
I don't know where I get anything. Having the infestation in your home makes reality like a nightmare, feel like a nightmare. So dreaming about an invasion of creepy crawlers or fuzzy fiends
That's what I've had.
could
Spiders
be
on my
a
floor.
literal fear or a symbolic one. By the way, this whole article, 100% written by ChatGPT. Just wait until you hear it. You point out when you hear the ChatGPT.
3.5.
I didn't
for
write.
Sure.
I didn't put it through. Like the website clearly used
For
ChatGPT.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you didn't use it.
No.
The website that you got the article from.
Yeah. If it's symbolic, an infestation could represent a fear of disease or dirt or any other things you personally associate with mice, roaches, or rats, Schriedel said. Since there are many ways these dreams can unfold, there are many ways they can be interpreted. It could also be an example of feeling insecure or unsafe in your own home, Schriedel said. Kind of interesting, yeah. Now, again, it's like, this is all based on science, but it's like, you know, a part of this is like, it seems like dream interpretation. So like, I don't know. There's so much we don't even know why we fucking dream.
Yeah.
So
it seems
I
hard.
don't know.
It seems hard to put like too much behind.
But
the
I do
reason.
like it. There's something fun about this. The number 9 is an evil presence.
I've never had that.
Like in the 9, like, and I like that it's 9. This is like the
Oh,
9
never mind. You know what?
realms
Actually,
of hell.
I had a dream a few nights ago.
We said don't
actually.
tell us about your dreams.
Well, it's only brief. I dreamed a few nights ago where I had a dream that when that I was in a horror movie, and that a part of it was
like
when
you were an actor in a horror film.
No, that I was in a horror movie, but I was like a part of the plot. Like I didn't know that I was an actor in it. Does that make sense?
No,
No,
I think
this
that's
is it.
literally just you were a
Having-
part of a very scary situation.
This is
having
why
an-
we said
having
don't
an-
describe
Well,
your
yeah,
dreams.
what was the fucking?
But I closed my eyes.
No, this is actually short and really interesting.
Well,
so I was an
well,
actor
it's-
in a horror
well,
movie.
it's not
but I was
short if
part
you
of the
keep
plot.
interrupting. Anyway, fuck it. Yeah, it was scary.
I just want to take some pictures.
Relax. In the 9th spot, there's an eerie feeling of suspecting that there may be a ghost, demon, or alien nearby.
Succubus.
This could mean that the dreamer sees the offending presence or merely that they suspect one is near. These sorts of sleep hallucinations often plague people suffering from
Succubuses.
sleep paralysis, which we've covered on the show, according to the Cleveland Clinic. This unsettling sleep disorder occurs when parts of the brain that keep you still during sleep and the parts that keep you sleeping miscommunicate. In this state, people often report a ghoul standing over them as they struggle to move. talk about not getting your beauty sleep.
Guys, that's ChatGPT.
I know, right? I know.
Also,
guys, the word
ghoul has to be
Yeah, it's
the
ghoul.
most funny, least scary
A ghoul.
horror associated word.
Yeah, I would agree.
Have you ever
with that.
seen a ghoul though?
No.
Dude, if a ghoul walked up to you and on a nighttime walk home, ugh, you'd be fucked up.
How do you define a ghoul?
Like a zombie's a ghoul. You know,
What is a ghoul like a
green skin, droopy eyes.
Okay.
Goes like,
Yeah,
that's a ghoul.
that's cool.
All
When they
right,
make that
number
sound, that's the
8,
biggest telltale.
There's a hurricane coming through.
Storms?
catastrophe. Fires, floods, nuclear fallout. A common subject of many people's dreams is anything that could be mistaken for the end of times. Disasters ranked at number 8 in the survey found about 4.5% of the dreams reported in Schredel's study.
Those are fun dreams. I think.
I wouldn't associate those dreams with a nightmare.
Yeah.
These could signal general apprehension for the future as a way for your brain to ruminate on something you're worried or may occur, according to Stanford's Corelli. It depends on whether you view the changes coming from your life as positive or negative. Or if you've experienced a natural disaster, it could be your mind working its way through the situation as a way of processing your trauma.
I get that, and those sound like plausible explanations, but also like if I watched like End of the World or something like that and like got excited about like what would it be like to be in that situation, but got to wake up afterwards.
Well, we
would
might
also
be in that
just
situation this coming Saturday or tomorrow, I guess, if you're listening to this.
right.
Hurricane Ian.
No.
Lee. Hurricane Lee. Ah, fuck, whatever. Fucking hurricane boring name number, whatever.
They are all boring names.
When's
eh?
Hurricane Karen coming through? That's what I want. Number 7. This
I think
one,
all you got to do is take a little stroll through Walmart and you'll run into Hurricane Karen.
this one I think kind of relates to what you were talking about, Tay. Number 7, feeling worried. Do you know the feeling when you're sure you've forgotten? Actually, you know what? This isn't that one. I mean, yours is impending doom.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. What is that? I don't even think that's in here.
Probably not.
It's really not. Feeling worried. This is the one. This is my most recurring one. My most recurring dream. I'm not going to tell you the dream. Is something to the effect of like, I am about to go on stage to give a keynote or to do a play, and I didn't look at the script once, and I have zero idea of what the fucking story is, and I have I'm the lead character in the play, obviously, every time. And I don't know any of my lines. And the opening night is tonight. And
Time to wing it.
dude, that dream sucks. That dream I actually don't like that.
It's
Welcome
so funny
to
because
improv night.
Yeah.
before like I've heard you talk about that dream before, but before I knew about that, I would guess that you would thrive in that situation. You know, like
You most certainly would not in a play
No,
that
no.
has a fucking script where the play everybody else it knows exactly where the story is going and what they have to say, and you don't know where the story is going. So then all of a sudden you change the trajectory of the
Everyone's
story.
wearing Victorian period costumes, and Jared's going, "Sup, my glizzies?"
Thanks for the glizzy. Thanks for the glizzy. And they're like, "Sir, doth thou?" I got nothing. Many people dream about this feeling with apprehension and worry. People in Schredel's study reported feeling that they knew something was wrong, but they didn't know what, and that made them more uncomfortable. Fear of the unknown seems to be something that many of us share, even our dreams. But yeah, continue. You were going to say
I was just going to say, like, you know, having an improv background, you know, when you were doing Art Zuka and you didn't have lines, but you would like,
yeah,
you know,
make
you would
up
Art
the
Zuka
script.
things. Like,
That's easy when
like,
it's just you.
I would think that you would of all people who would thrive in that situation,
Yeah.
I would think that you would be best suited for performing well.
Right. Thrive being a very relative term.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very relative.
Again, if I was
fucked.
If I was doing
for
it
sure.
solo, it would definitely be a lot easier. Number 6, disagreements.
You broke up with me?
I don't
You
think
broke up with me?
All right, disagreements. So
Broke
interpersonal
up with me?
sorry,
You broke up with me?
interpersonal conflicts come as
No one breaks up with me!
okay.
No one breaks up with me!
Okay. Interpersonal conflicts come
No
in.
one breaks up with me!
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
I love that. I love that. That clip goes for another 2 minutes.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Interpersonal conflicts come as the sixth most common. In these scenarios, the dreamer has or witnesses a non-physical fight.
You fucking, you bloody bastard, bitch. You bloody, fuck you, bloody.
Bastard.
Fucking mother, bloody.
Fuck you,
Fucking mother
bloody.
bloody. These dreams could be emblematic of some social anxiety you have about a personal relationship, according to Psychology Today. You could be dreaming a conversation you need to have or processing a conflict that has already happened. I mean, you know, what's funny is like, I don't have that in my dream. I don't dream this. I do that right after. Like someone cuts me off in traffic and then I'm like, oh, fuck. And then they like pull off and then I'm driving and then I go, and then I sit for an hour. I go, I'll go. I should have said. I should have put my window down and said, "You're a bitch," you know. And I go, "Oh no." Like, well, what I should have done was,
Jared's just ruminating.
Man,
should have said this.
Honestly, I haven't had a
Would've
bad
been so
dream.
cool if I just said.
Except I've only had one bad dream, like one type of bad dream in the last 15 years.
One
and
type.
It's always any bad dream I have is like my dog died.
Oh, that's a bad dream.
Yeah.
You've had that for
That's
the
an
last
awful
15
dream.
years, even though you've only had a dog.
No.
Yeah.
Like in the last 15 years, the only bad dream I've had is my dog dying.
So prior to a year and a half ago, you didn't have any bad dreams whatsoever.
Yeah, pretty much.
You didn't
That's
have
what
a
I was trying
dog.
to say. That's
Oh.
what I was communicating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Wait until you have a kid.
This one.
You're gonna be real worried.
Do you dream that day it dies?
No, never.
This one's interesting. I've
You will
never.
now.
I'm not worried about that shit.
I've never had this dream. I've never had anything like this. But it makes sense when I read it. But I've never had a dream like this, which is it made me think. Number 5, sickness and death. So health-related concerns and death ranked in the middle of the survey. 11.6% of the reports. In these types of nightmares, the dreamer reported watching themselves or a loved one become sick, suffer through a disease, or die. These dreams are complex, could represent many different things depending on what you're personally going through. They could be emblematic of a general fear of sickness and death or feeling out of control of your personal well-being. It also may be a way for you to process grief, according to a 2020 study. Now, I had thought about that, and I was like, wow, I've actually never, I cannot recall once having a dream about dying or being sick.
Me neither.
And I think it's because I'm just dying. I'm sick and I'm dying my whole life.
You're living that dream.
Like I'm living that nightmare.
Yeah. So when people come up to you and they're like, "Hey, Jared, how you doing?" You go, "Living the dream,
Living the nightmare. I'm dying."
And they're like, "What's your dream?" And you're like, "Dying slowly."
You know what? I was just thinking about dreams is that they're really like TV shows that you get to like fictitious versions with shows that have characters that you know in them, which is a lot like
Or don't
Black
know.
Mirror. Joan is Awful. Like it's basically.
Mhm.
I mean, that's basically
That's a
what our
nightmare.
dreams are.
Joan is
except-
awful, isn't it?
That was a nightmare.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a great nightmare. That was
But it was a great
nightmare.
number because she took control when she went into the church and took a big old shit.
That was a great episode.
That was one of the best.
Did you watch? Did you watch all of it?
I've seen it all.
What
All
did
of
you? How
Black-
did you feel about? Okay, speaking of dreams and demons.
A
and all that
spoiler
stuff,
alert here, guys.
Did you like the last episode?
Loved it, and also, did you read into it?
No, I didn't.
Maybe we should say this for after the podcast. But
Yeah, let's save it for off.
Red Mirror
Have you not seen it?
Red Mirror
sorry. Yes,
could
yes.
be their next
Right.
series, which is going to be
A
like sort of like
horror-based.
horror / like paranormal based stuff.
Because it was a very
I like that a lot. Yeah.
It was a very non Black Mirror.
Remind me after. I'll talk to you about what's his name, the guy that made it.
Yes.
He had an
We
interview.
I remember now. We actually talked about this right. after we
Number
watched it.
4, this one I get for sure. Number 4 is being chased. In these dreams, you might be pursued by a human, an evil presence, or something you can't even see.
I've had a dream like this.
Shreedel explains how the basic patterns of a chase dream can tell you what it means. In a nightmare like this, you're afraid as you run from something that you feel is getting increasingly closer to you. Experiencing fear and running away from what causes it is psychology 101. This is avoidance behavior, Shreedel said. So generally, dreams about being chased usually mean you're anxious about something you may be avoiding. Interesting take.
The only other
accurate.
thing that I've ever experienced on a repetitive basis throughout my life is getting into a physical altercation in my dream where my arm,
you're the
when I go
Jello
when I-
punches.
Jello punches.
Oh, I've had that too. Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever actually. You know what? I had a dream within the last month or so where I think I actually did hit somebody firmly in my dream and went, Holy shit.
And killed them, and then you ended up going to jail for the rest of your life. I heard about that.
And then I got sentenced to manslaughter.
Number 3 is, what do you guys think this is?
Vehicular accidents,
Accidents. Like falling, car wrecks, drowning,
airplanes.
and more.
Falling. I mean, I think that's probably the most universal dreaming experience. Is the
I've never
sensation
had
of
a
falling.
Apparently,
falling. I've never had a
males-
falling dream. I've had a flying dream.
You've never
woken up from falling?
Nope.
Oh,
Wow,
wow. That's
crazy.
interesting.
Males
okay,
report significantly more falling dreams than females.
interesting.
apparently.
So when you saw Inception, and they gave the universal experience of being able to wake themselves up from the dream with this with falling,
Yeah.
you were like, I don't get it. What does that mean?
I understand it socially. Like I understand that people talk about it, so I understand the reference of it in the movie, but I haven't personally experienced it.
Fascinating.
So these dreams are a little bit more literal than you might think.
I mean, not
representing-
at least not that I can remember. I mean, I can
Sure.
barely.
Well, you wake
there's
up
lots of
from it.
dreams that.
That's the
that-
point of it.
yeah,
is
I
that
guess.
it makes you wake up.
representing fears of heights, driving, or the ocean, but they could also represent feeling out of control, fearing death, or feeling helpless.
I do remember. I've
got 2
had
more.
a lot of dreidel spinning dreams where I've just been like
Dreidel spinning dreams? Nice. That's the guy who
Spinning.
wrote
You've had a
this.
lot of dreidel spinning dreams?
Yeah.
Is this a joke?
No, I do that to make sure that to like see if it's still spinning to see if I'm.
Oh, it's an Inception reference.
yeah. You know,
Spoiler alert.
Dreidel. They use dreidels.
that's how I check if I'm still awake.
Number 2, physical aggression. So taking the number 6, disagreements, a little bit further from fuck you bloody to I'm going to make you bloody. You know what I mean?
I do. You don't even have to wink.
In these scenarios, the dreamer may be attacked, participate in a fight, or witness other people duking it out. This type of nightmare may reflect social anxiety, a literal fear of violence, or concerns about being vulnerable to other people's criticism. I mean, when I have violent dreams,
I feel like it's the exact opposite.
yeah, same. I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking go, buddy. And then I go to punch, and it's just like wet noodle.
Yeah.
Spaghetti
Fuck!
arms.
And then I start running, and then it turns into a chase nightmare.
Right. Right.
Then I get into a car. I drive really fast, crash nightmare. Then I'm in the
In the
hospital.
crash, you hit somebody, manslaughter.
That's
You're on
right.
your
Going
way
to jail for the rest of my life. But as on my way to jail, I'm in the ambulance because I just got in a crash, and I'm dying, and I'm sick. It turns out that I got Hep C from the crash.
And
'Cause
then
there were some bad ice
the
cubes
ambulance
on the ground, and my
driver-
mouth picked up an ice cube as I was sliding across the
Oh,
pavement.
also, I just realized another repetitive aspect of my dreams in terms of sex dreams, and I think I've said this before, at least to you guys.
Oh, right. You only come in your own mouth.
where I can't.
You told me that. I
Where
remember.
where
You did,
where
yeah, I remember when you
where
said that.
like a
I remember
sexual
this.
experience is like there. It's about to happen, and then it doesn't.
And that's not pay, that's squatter.
Yeah. Number 1, the number 1 dream nightmare,
P. That's not square.
which documented 18% of reports.
Oh.
Failure.
Of what?
anything.
Everything. So I mean, this is just Brian. This encompasses everything from failing to achieve a goal to being late, lost, unable to speak, losing or forgetting something, making a mistake. This includes the all too stereotypical dream of failing a test, which made up about 3% of all nightmares reported. I mean, what a, like, no offense, but like, what
Who
a
cares?
bitch nightmare, dude. What a bitch nightmare.
I'm surprised that's
Dude, your
number one.
nightmare's
I'm surprised
fucking
that's number
doing bad on a test. You fucking loser, dude. Dude, my nightmares are vampires gonna suck all the blood out of my dick. And what? What? That's cool. Failing a test? You fucking baby. So thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We got to wrap this up. And if you want to support the podcast, leave a rating and a review. 5-star rating, even if you hated it. And then when you leave the review, just like scathing. But just the 5 stars is what matters. And then if you want to support the podcast further, you can come on over to our Discord channel where in the episode folder or the episode discussion channel, you can tell us that you are angry about what we recorded, and then we will respond. And you can do that. And that's a thing that you
and
can
honestly,
do.
if you catch Jer on a bad day, he'll tell you.
He'll tell you.
He'll tell you what he thinks without letting us vet the message.
No,
he's
I
gonna
won't.
send.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
won't.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
will write a very diplomatic message and send it. But in reality, I'm over here going, what I should have said was, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Before he
For
sends
like
that
2
diplomatic
hours.
message, he'll tell Brian and I what he really wants to say, and then Brian and I will go, you know what? I actually think maybe you should dial it back a little bit.
But come on over to the Discord. It is lots of fun, and we do appreciate everybody there. And hey, oh, by the way, Stina, shout out to Stina, because the top 10 most common nightmares came from
Oh, yes.
them.
And
So,
the EDS article came from somebody emailed it in.
uh,
Or did you find it separately?
Oh, that was an email. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It came from an email. I can't remember who sent the email, but I did see it.
info@sickboypodcast.com if you want to send an email.
Actually, they sent it to letters at sickboypodcast.
Look at that. Fucking how about that?
Yeah.
It was
Keep the letters. Info is only for business.
yeah, a huge thank you to Sarah for that. I'm not going to say Sarah's last name, but
566
Thanks, Sarah.
Wallace Street. All right. You guys. What do you say?
Yeah. If you want
What do you say at the end of the show, buddy?
If you want to be a guest on the show, go to sickboypodcast.com and fill out the guest form. It's an obvious button. If you miss it, then there's other things that you need to.
Then Brian needs to fix that.
You either need to go see
Brian
an optometrist.
failed at the button.
You need to see an optometrist.
I'll fix it, but
or
it'll be
a
late.
whole plethora of other medical professionals for something that you can then talk to us about on the show. And that's it. That's all the things I say.
I usually say thank you to people, in particular people who help make the show happen. But first, I want to thank, most importantly, the people who listen to the show, because the show would not exist if it was not for you listening. So thank you so much. We love you. Please tell a friend or family member about the show if you enjoyed it. It means the world to us. So thank you so much. Thanks also to Donovan, Rich, Jeff, Take Part, all the guys who help with the show behind
My
the
mom.
scenes.
Also,
Fucking love you guys.
because not as we record this, but as it is released on Friday, which is where everyone is when most people are listening to this, we have a new project that's been that has been announced. We won't say much about it. Probably catch it on our social medias. Check it out.
You
Yeah,
can,
you
let's
could actually
tell
you
people
could
right
actually
now.
go subscribe right now. It's called New Wave, and you can find that wherever you find podcasts. And it is under Snack Labs, which is our production company that runs this podcast. So New Wave, Snack Labs. Give that a little look-see and just hit the subscribe button. It's not out yet, but we put up a trailer, and you can listen to the trailer and let us know what you think.
Yeah,
It's
it'll
an
be
8-part series about companies, life sciences.
You'll
companies
find
here
out
in
once
Nova
you listen
Scotia,
to it.
and it's really
and
cool.
also that show will be available around the 1st or 2nd week of October. So you can stay tuned for that.
That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Taylor.
And I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.